Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Universal Monsters Ultimates, The Mummy. Boris Karloff returns, wrapped in toilet paper. Yes sirree, this course is brought to us by the fine folks over at NECA Toys, and it's the second, kinda sorta third, figure we're taking a look at from their Universal Monsters Ultimates line. And as I mentioned in the Frankenstein's Monster video from earlier today, I'm very excited to be looking at this line finally on the channel. Universal Monsters is something near and dear to my heart, and I gotta tell you, modern day horror just sucks. It's all jump scares and shaky cam and blood and guts. What happened to actual development of cool characters like the High Priest Imhotep or all the other fan favorites from back in the day? I just don't get it, man. So, with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get to the meat and taters of this review and take a look see at all the Mummy has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of, well, actually, funny story, not a pair of hands, just alternate right hands. I actually thought I got bamboozled, but as a matter of fact, as you can see, these are different sculpts. I'm not sure why he only has two extra right hands and nothing for the left side. I would have loved two of these hands, one for the right, one for the left. This I could have taken her left because it's pretty much almost what he has on him right now, just with the thumb out a little bit. So that's kind of a bummer, but that is how it's supposed to be. I double checked on BBTS and other reviews, and people had the same thing. So I didn't get bamboozled, but I can't say I'm not disappointed in that. That said, it doesn't detract me from liking this figure. It's Boris Karloff wrapped in toilet paper, for crying out loud. Said he does have two alternate heads. This thing is terrifying. Look at that. I'm not sure what head I'm going to display him with. I kind of like the slightly open mouth head. Like this mouth is ever so slightly open, giving him that. But this is like straight up screaming like. So that's cool. Head on him is just the mouth closed, obviously. And then he's got a couple extra wraps. He's got one for his arm, I guess. Maybe torso. And then one for his foot. Kind of like the Michelangelo mummy, I think, had a couple extra wrap pieces. So you could hang these off him if you want. I'll probably display him with these just like I plan to display the Frankenstein monster with the shackles. Just spruce them up a bit. And then we also have a little box. And in this little box, you can open it up and pull out this piece of paper. And I can only assume there's some hieroglyphs on this thing. So there you go. Also, for those of you not in the know, the Egyptian font, not the hieroglyphs, but the actual like writing, is papyrus, I believe. I learned that in college when I took typography, because my professor at the time did not care for papyrus or Comic Sans, which is comic book text, for those of you not in the know. So that is your lot. Kind of light compared to Frankenstein's monster. I mean, we do get a box with a piece of paper in it, but, you know, we kind of got stiffed on the hands. It would have been nice to get left hands like we did for the right, but it is what it is, I'm afraid. So taking a closer look at old Gauze face, the mummy here. You can see that he actually has some added articulation. Frankenstein's monster had the single jointed elbows. He's got the double jointed elbows with the hidden kind of swivels and whatnot. So if you're into that, cool. Personally, I don't mind just a pin double elbow. I mean, really. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, he can look up really freaking far. Like, all you guys swearing by disc hinges, look at that. That is 3 ball pegs doing the same amount of work. Now, granted, you're going to get a little gapping on the base of the neck there, just because of how it's sculpted, but He can look straight up. He can bury his chin. He can tilt like the Dickens. And he can, of course, rotate, but I don't want to twist his neck and all that, so... I mean, he's a mummy, he's dead, so it's not going to kill him, but you know what I mean. It's a pain in the butt to line it back up. As far as the arms are concerned, you can rotate them forward and back. You can hinge them out. And not as far as Frankenstein's monster, but he does have a bicep twist. Feels like it would pop off if you cranked it too much, so be careful with that. Double jointed elbow. Really squeaky, but that's just the paint. There you go. Decent bend out of that. And then of course you do have your rotation here, as well as down here. Works fine. Swivel in the wrist with a hinge. Diaphragm joint will crunch that far forward. With the waist, he could probably crunch a little bit. No, that is all the way. But he is a mummy, after all. He's going to be restricted due to all the wrappings. And he can tilt back about that far. He's got rotation down here at the waist, as well as a little bit of tilt in both the waist and the diaphragm. And I'm curious, can he actually do the arms over the chest thing? It looks like it's going to be pretty easy. Maybe if I bend this one a little more. Maybe if I bend this one all the way in the front. Then there. Then do this. And this. Yeah, that's pretty spot on there. I mean, I wish his hand was flat, but beggars can't be choosers. That's pretty close to what it's supposed to be like, I think. I imagine his ring is supposed to be on the top there, but I could be wrong. There you go. I mean, that's pretty good for a NECA figure to be able to do that. So that might be how I display him. I don't know. We'll see. I at least got the hand bent. Let's see if I can pop that up a little more. Do that. A little bit more space there. That way his hands aren't right up on his neck. There you go. That looks pretty good. And as far as his hips go, he can kick out almost all the way. No drop downs there, folks. Kick forward. He's got a thigh cut up in there. That's a little clicky. Holy cow. As for the knee, again, he's got the rotating knee with the single hinge. And if you bend it right, you can get a little past 90 with it. And your swivel works a little better that way. As far as the feet go, he's got a rocker. It works pretty well. And a hinge. And he also has peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Which him you might want to stand for, because he's got little teeny feet. But really awesome figure. I love this figure. Just like the Frankenstein monster. NECA is just spot on with the accuracy to the old Universal Monsters movies with this one, and I can't recommend it enough. Especially if you get it for $22.99 like I did from BBTS. They had it on sale, and they had his sarcophagus on sale as well, but I don't have space for that type of stuff. But part of me wishes I did pick it up, because I got the Four Horsemen Figura Obscura Anubis and Bastet, and this guy would look so fly with them chilling in his sarcophagus with the two of them standing next to him with the statue heads. That would look awesome. But before we wrap this up, we'll bring in our two regulars here. This is the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, speaking of Four Horsemen. If you saw my Frankenstein's monster video earlier, you know that we're going to be skipping out on the size comparisons, because this line isn't scale with itself. It's meant to be. That said, we also have the infamous 11 Spawn, who is a little bit taller. Not towering, but a little bit taller. So, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the fact that I feel like good old Boris Karloff as the High Priest Imhotep here is a bit lacking in terms of accessories, at least compared to the other Boris Karloff monster figure we looked at earlier today, Frankenstein's monster to be exact. I think this is another solid addition to the Universal Monsters Ultimates line brought to us by the fine folks over at NECA Toys. And if you can get it for the bargain I got it for over on Big and Bad Toy Store, then by all means, definitely do not hesitate on picking him up. I think he is well worth the retail price and even more worth the discounted price. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.